Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to be making a down-home Southern comfort food baked chicken pot pie casserole. It's what's on the menu today. We're switching some things up today with this recipe. We're going to be making some from scratch elements, so no can of condensed soup, cream of chicken soup, none of that. And we're going to be making it just a little bit easier with just a pie crust topping instead of the whole pie. I can't wait to show you how to do it, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to need for this recipe is obviously chicken for the chicken pot pie. There's a couple of different ways you can do this. As always, I like to just make this as easy and as simple as possible. Yesterday, I went ahead and baked off 2 large chicken breasts. I just seasoned it with some olive oil, salt and pepper, popped it in a 325-degree oven and baked it for around 30-ish minutes, just until it was all the way done. Let it cool, and then I stuck it in the refrigerator for today. I cubed it up while I was sauteing the vegetables, so you can do that. You can use some leftover chicken, you can do a rotisserie chicken and just use the white meat, chop it up, whatever you have and is easiest for you. You can also just make this chicken while your vegetables are sauteing at the same time you're making this. The next thing that we're gonna do is start the filling. Add a large stock pot to the stove over medium heat, and we're gonna add in 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 medium-sized onion that we have diced up finely, and then 1 cup of celery. Go ahead and add that all together in the pot, and we're gonna saute that for about 5 minutes until the onions and celery are nice and soft and fragrant. After that, we're gonna add 2 to 3 cloves of garlic that have been finely minced. Add that to the pot, stir it together, and saute again for another couple of minutes. After those veggies are soft and fragrant, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of flour and mix this in really well so that it coats all of the vegetables and soaks it up. This is gonna be our thickening agent for the recipe. After you've stirred that all around and it's cooked for about a minute or 2, we're gonna slowly add in 1.5 cups of whole milk and 1.5 cups of chicken broth. Give that a good stir and make sure that there's no flour clumps or anything before we proceed to the next step. We're gonna turn the heat down to medium-low at this point, and then we're gonna add in our cubed chopped chicken along with all of our spices, which are 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, basil, and white pepper, 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. And then finally, we're gonna add 1 cup of frozen peas and carrots. Give that a good stir. We're gonna let that get warm and cook for about 5 to 10 minutes, just until everything starts to thicken up and that sauce just warms all the way through, gets nice and creamy. While that's finishing cooking on the stovetop, we're gonna prep our pie crust topping. So as always, for any recipe that requires a pie crust, I like to use a homemade version, but a store-bought version can also be used. You're gonna wanna make sure to get the sheet of pie crust and not the pie shell, because we're not gonna be baking this in a bottom and top crust. We're just gonna be laying it over the top to make it just a little bit easier. So go ahead and roll out your pie crust. You're gonna want it to be a little bit bigger than your baking pan. We're gonna be baking this in a 9x9 square baking dish. Once you've rolled that out, spray your baking dish with some nonstick cooking spray, and then we're gonna pour the filling from the pot on the stove straight into the baking dish. After that, we're gonna top it with the crust, and we're almost finished. So gently lay the pie crust over top of the baking dish. I'm gently pressing it down all the way around the sides, and then I just took the excess that was hanging over and crimped it all the way around, making sure to seal it so that none of the filling bubbles up over top of it while it's baking. Then we're just gonna cut a couple slits in the top of the crust with a sharp knife. This just allows the steam to escape while baking, and then gently brush it with an egg wash. We're gonna pop this in a preheated oven at 375 degrees, and you're gonna bake it for about 35 to 40 minutes, just until the top of the crust is golden brown and the inside is nice and bubbly. Remove it from the oven, let it cool for around 10 minutes, and then go ahead and scoop it out and serve it. This makes an awesome weeknight dinner. It's perfect for any time of year. It's hearty, it's comforting, it tastes like home. Like, everyone loves a chicken pot pie. You can't go wrong with it. So for the full recipe, head on over to KentuckyLiving.com. Everything you need to know, all the ingredients and all the things, plus some other weeknight recipes I know you will love, can be found there. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today, and until next month, I'll see you all soon. Bye.